There was another airplane hijacking today, a Delta Airlines jet taken over by a gang of hijackers after landing in Miami to pick up the biggest ransom ever paid in an air hijacking, $1 million. They took off for Algeria pending a stop in Boston to pick up a navigator. Joan Hall of WTVJ-TV in Miami reports.
A Delta Airlines jet from Detroit to Miami was taken over by 8 passengers who demanded $1 million and a one-way trip to Algeria. The plane taxied to a remote area of Miami International Airport where the hijackers and the FBI negotiated the demands. The First National Bank of Miami collected the $1 million in $50 and $100 denominations and handed it over to 2 FBI agents. The money transfer to the FBI took place at the airport terminal. The agent selected to hand over the cash to the hijackers was dressed in just his undershirt and bathing trunks. The 2 men drove across the field in a Delta cargo truck with the money in a blue suitcase. This was hoisted up to the plane by ropes. Then, 82 passengers and 2 stewardesses were allowed to leave the aircraft and were driven to the terminal. One of those passengers told what happened aboard the plane.
Did the hijackers say where they wanted to go, or did you talk with them at all?
No. Stewardess said they wanted to go to Algiers.
Algiers?
Did they ask for money or anything at all? How much?
I think it was $500,000 the first time, then we were supposed to go to Boston, and then they changed their mind. We were supposed to get the other part of the money in Boston.
What happened when the money came to the plane?
They brought it up by rope.
The DC-8 quickly departed for Boston with what is believed to be the largest ransom in the history of hijacks to date. The hijackers are described as 3 men, 2 women, and 3 children, all black. One of the men was dressed as a priest. This is Joan Hall reporting from Miami International Airport.
The Federal Aviation Administration, declaring it to be an emergency situation today, ordered airlines to search any passenger who fits the FAA's potential hijacker profile. Up to now, such passengers in most cases had only to provide proper identification. Today's action followed the hijacking yesterday of a Delta Airlines jet on a flight from Detroit to Miami. After picking up a $1 million ransom, the hijackers ordered the plane to Algeria. The Delta jet was allowed to land at the Algiers airport. Algerian officials seized the ransom, and the plane and the crew were allowed to fly to Spain today. The hijackers were 8 members of a black communal family in Detroit, 3 men, 2 women, and 3 small children. The U.S. demanded that the ransom be returned, and officials said they expect Algeria to comply. As for the hijackers, it wasn't known whether they would be given asylum. Back in Detroit, the FBI began looking into their lifestyle. Woody Willis of WJBK-TV reports.
According to friends, the family burned most of their books before leaving the house in disarray. On the floor of the living room was a kind of grave or altar, complete with headstones and soil. A pale doll had been partially burned and stabbed in its abdomen. A vegetable meal was left on a paper plate. 2 black plastic pigs were on the headstones. James Moss, his wife Danielle, and brother Al Moss had exchanged philosophy and occasionally smoked with the now departed family they knew only by their adopted African names. They tried to give some definition to the startling scene.
It's the death of white society, white racism, white money, white this, white supremacy, white everything. I mean, they wanted to bury it, leave it behind, and that they did.
What about the pennies and the meal there?
There's 8 pennies around here, and to me it would stand for each person that got on the plane. There's 8 pennies and 8 people. This right here is an astrological chart. These are mint leaves, an ashtray with marijuana in it, a piece of a checking account, a stamp here that says family planning on it, a voodoo doll that's been cut, or stabbed, and marijuana papers to roll with, pigs here, waxed pigs. There's a black egg under here, meaning a symbol of life, a Bible here, and a headstone. It's a grave. They're burying white society.